Okay, tonight, what we're going to learn in the mastermind, we're going to go over some more documents, some very important documents that you're going to need for accreditation, going through accreditation, so you will not get denied or delayed, because you're going to have to pass with 100%, but that's okay because we have all the documents. So every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a mastermind. What is a mastermind? We put all of our heads together and we come up with solutions to take us to the next level. So I'm going to share my screen. That's what I'm going to do. Now, first of all, I want to make sure, can everybody see the screen? Let me know. I want to make sure that everybody can see this screen. All right. So let's look at the chat. All right. They saying yes. All right. Vernique, Lisa, Victoria, Vern, Tracy. Yes. All right. So we ready to get started because everybody can see the screen. Now, we've covered a lot in your back office. Bronze members, gold members. Y'all see this. No members. Y'all see this, but y'all just don't have access to it. So let's go down here because there are some things that I did not cover last week. The Satisfactory Progress Report. We're going to click on that. I'm going to make it bigger because I know some of y'all, if my COO is on here, she can't really see. Now, where it has Hair Academy in red, make sure you're going to take this and put your school name right there and type it in. If you can't type, pick and put it in. Now, next, Satisfactory Academic Progress Report. You're going to need these. If you have a 1,500-hour course, that's mostly Cosmo or Barber. That's the average. But some states are a little less. Some states may be a little more. So you're going to put the student's name, the date. Now, what we're going to do here, this is very important. If it's a 1,500-hour course, you're going to have basically four times that you're going to do this basically. At 450, you're going to do this. So just say, and y'all listen to this, get your pen and paper out. If they're on a 30-hour-a-week schedule, 30 hours a week, 30 hours a week is usually 4 weeks in a month. So that's 30 hours times 4. So that's 120 hours a month, okay? Now, just say they had been here for, we'll just say 6 months, all right? So 6 months times 120 hours a month is 720. So that's 720 scheduled hours because they're scheduled to come 30 hours a week, 120 hours a month. That's how many hours they were scheduled. So now, when they just say they hit 450 actual hours in 6 months, all right, they had 450 actual hours. Those are the hours that they actually came. But they didn't hit it until 6 months down the road. Now, if they came every single day, they would have hit 400, they would have hit 450 hours in 3.75 months because 120 hours a month times 3.75 is 450 hours. All right. So now just say they missed some days because you know they're not going to have perfect attendance. So they missed a lot of days. They came 20 hours one week, 25 hours another week, 10 hours one week, 30 hours another week. So it took them 6 months to get 450 hours, actual hours. So we will put that where it has actual hours. Now, scheduled hours, if it took them 6 months to get 450 actual hours, we know that they should have did 120 hours a month times the 6 months. That would have been 720 hours. Now, I'm going to share something with y'all. So now, if that happened, that meant you would go 450 actual hours divided by 720 scheduled hours. And if you did that 450 actual hours divided by 720 scheduled hours, that's basically 63%. So they would be below attendance because they have to have at least a 67%. This would be 62. But just say they when they hit 450 actual hours, they were scheduled for 600. All right. What I mean by that, if they came to school and missed some days, but when they had 450 actual hours, they really, if they would have not missed any days, they would have had 600 hours total scheduled if they would have attended everything. So we did 450 schedule hours, 450 actual hours divided by 600 schedule hours, that's 75%. So you would put 75% where the cumulative attendance is. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Now, if you have the SMART system or the FAME system or the Genesis system, one of those school softwares, it will calculate this for you. Now, what I'm sharing with you right now, this is some of the things that they're going to share at the NACCAS conference, but they're not going to break it down like this. People in the GOLD program will help you and do this with you. Now, evaluation period, we put 450 right there. The date that we do this SAP evaluation, put that right there. Start date, that's the date that they started the school. So remember the schedule hours that it might've been 600, actual hours that they did is 450. Now the grade point, the cumulative academic grade, all the grades, the tests that they've taken, add them up on the calculator. If they had they had a 90 plus an 80 plus a 90, all right, equals 260. They had 3 tests, so that's 260 divided by 3. So that'd be an 86 average. Going down, student is making satisfactory academic progress. Yes, most states require a minimum of a 70 for passing. Attendance, 67%. Now that 70% grade point average and 67% attendance, those are the minimum that NACCAS and the U.S. Department of Education requires. Those are the bare minimum. So I want y'all to understand that. Now, the next thing we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. All right. I'm going to share this screen with y'all again. Hopefully y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. Notice of warning, probation provided to student. NA. Now, if they were below in attendance or grades, you would put yes. Because you're going to notify the student, hey, you're going to have to get this up, or you stand a chance of losing financial aid or being put out or whatever. Reason for warning of probation attendance. Most of the time it's going to be NA because a lot of students not going to go below the 67%. Now I'm going to give y'all a secret. If a student signs up for full time and you notice that they lacking on their attendance, call them in office, switch it from full time to part time. And there's an addendum that they can fill out. So if NACCAS, the government comes in and they wonder, well, the contract says full time, but the student is only doing part time. What's up with that? Well, here's the addendum that they came in and they switched. Documentation beats conversation. You always want to have documentation to cover your behind. Now, scrolling on down where it has additional comments, usually it's not going to be anything. You can put a line right there, or you have students doing great or whatever. Student signature, have them to sign it, date it. School official, whether it's you, sign it, date it. You want these the same date. So this is a satisfactory academic progress report. A lot of schools get rolled up because they're not doing this. They're not giving them tests, some of them. And the ones that are, they're not doing this satisfactory academic progress report correctly. Now, say this. The second evaluation period, if it's a 1,500 hour program, would be at 900 hours, okay? Just say they were doing 120 hours a month, 30 hours a week. Now, okay, we'll do the calculation on this. So just say when they got 900 actual hours, they actually had 1,000. They actually had 1,025 scheduled hours. Now, what we mean by scheduled hours, if they were scheduled to do 120 hours a month, 30 hours a week, and they've been here, just say 9 months, 9 times 4 is 36. So that's 36 weeks times 30. So that's 1,080. Okay, but that's when they hit the 900. So you would go 900 divided by 1,080. That's 83%. So just say when they hit 900 hours, they were scheduled for 1,080. At the 36th week, they hit 900 actual hours. But we know at the 36th week, and they supposed to do 30 hours a week. So that's 36 weeks times 30 hours, that's 1,080. So we're going to put 1,080 scheduled hours. And they hit at 900 actual hours, put the date that they hit it at, evaluation period is 2. And then we're going to go to 900, because they get messed up on this, 900 divided by 1,080. Like I said, 83%. You already know how to do the grades. Add up all the grades. If they had 10 grades, add them all up, divided by 10. Y'all already know that. That'll be the cumulative grade point average. Like I said, if you have one of the school program systems, it'll add this up for you. Because this right here can be kind of cumbersome and a little twisted up, and it's more work. So we'll fill this out, sign it, date it. Now, I'm telling you, this gets a lot of school owners mixed up because they don't have these for the students. The next one is at 1,200 hours. At 1,200 hours, you're going to do the same thing. We'll break it down. So just say they're doing 30 hours a week. Okay. That means 40 weeks at 30 hours is 1,200. But just say it took them 50 weeks to get 1,200. So basically that means we'll go 50 weeks, all right, times 30 hours. That's 1,500. But that's when they hit the 1,200. So 1,200, they hit it at 50 weeks. So you'd put 1,200 actual hours right there. Evaluation period 3. Okay, the third. So we got to go 1,200 actual hours divided by 1,500, the scheduled hours. 1,200 divided by 1,500, you're at 80%. So you're still passing because the minimum is 67%. Grade point average is 70%. There are some states that require 75%. And then dealing with VA, a lot of the VAs require 75%. Now, y'all understand that. I wanted to explain this to you. Then the last evaluation is 1,500 hours when they don't graduate. You know, that's when they graduate. So just say at 30 hours a week, 50 weeks times 30 hours a week is 1,500. But just say they got sick, they ain't come to school for some time, they missed a lot or whatever. So just say it took them 60 weeks to graduate. So 60 weeks times 30 hours a week there would have been 1,800 scheduled hours when they actually hit their 1,500. So that'd be 1,500 divided by 1,800 scheduled hours, 83%. And then you add up all their grades since they've been there and put that in there. Have them to sign it at the bottom, date it, you good. When NACCAS comes in, they're going to want to see the Satisfactory Academic Progress Report. Now, if you have a nail program that's 300 hours, 150 hours, 300 hours, that's when you're going to do your Satisfactory Progress. If you have a class that is a program that's say 600 hours, then you're going to do it at 300 hours, and then you're going to do it at 600 hours. So you have two SAPs, Satisfactory Academic Progress. You can also use these for report cards too. Okay. Now, the SMART system, the FAME system, the Genesis system, they all do this for you. They add up all the hours, the grades, everything. So you don't have to worry about that. But starting out by hand, you may not want to invest in one of those systems yet. So you can do this by hand because you may not have a lot of students, so you can handle this. So I really wanted to break this down to y'all because this gets a lot of schools messed up because they're not doing this. Okay. Now, also we have this in the Word document. You already know that. When y'all click on it in the back office on your Word document, it'll be a Google Doc. So it's going to make a copy. So you all can make all the changes that you want. Now, I'm going to answer I'm going to do Q&A at the end because I know y'all going to have a lot of questions. All right. So here we go. I'm going to answer all them questions in the back. Now we're going to move on to the next lesson. So did everybody get the Satisfactory Academic Progress Report? If you did not, I want you to write it down. And Gold members, you know, you have access. So we'll go to the next one. And this training, I'm going to put this will be in the back office too. NACCAS does a training on this too, but I really wanted to break this down so you all could understand it. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is advisory committee survey, because a lot of schools get messed up on this too. Okay, the advisory committee survey, you want at least 3 to 4 members on your advisory committee. Now, what is the advisory committee? They have to be a barber, stylist, nail tech, distributor, salon owner, salon manager, somebody in the beauty industry, okay? I repeat, it has to be somebody in the beauty industry. They don't have to work at your school, none of that. There's got to be somebody in the beauty industry, and they're going to ask, NACCAS is going to want to add, they're going to ask you, can we see a list of your advisory committee members? You need their name, first and last name, where they work, the address of their job, the phone number, and their position. I repeat, that person's name, John Doe. Where does he work? Supercuts or wherever. The address, phone number, his position, barber, stylist, nail tech, massage therapist, whatever, okay? Now, you have all them on the sheet because that goes in the institutional self-study. That's going to be in your ISS, all right? Now, anybody can be on the advisory committee meeting. If you're a barber, you can be on the cosmetology school's advisory committee, nail tech or whatever, because as long as they're in the industry, they can be on your advisory committee. You want to have yourself and some other people. Now, advisory meetings, you want to have at least 1 per year. All right, 1 per year. And for you gold members, I know we've done a lot of your ISSs. Some of y'all have already got accredited, and you didn't have no advisory committee meeting You never had one. Well, that's the part and privilege of being in the gold membership. You know, we created you one. We typed up the minutes, and we didn't have to have the survey. We typed up the minutes and we put it in your ISS, and you pass right on through. That's a part of privilege of being a gold member. Now, we're going to keep going. This survey, you can put this in the institutional self-study or the minutes, but you want to discuss, put your school name here. All right, we'll start at the top. School name right here, date, committee member name, whether they're barber, stylist, nail tech, graduate, distributor, put that, or if there are other, type that in. So is the mission current, effective, and relevant? They put yes. You don't want them to put nothing bad. The institution performance statistics, the graduation rate, licensure rate, employment rate. If 10 students started in 2019 and they were scheduled to graduate in 2020, and them 10 students that were scheduled to graduate in 2020, 6 of them graduated. That would be a 60% graduation rate, which is great, okay? Now, because the minimum is 50%, that is the minimum. Now, I want to share some things with you all. So I want y'all to get y'all's pen and paper out. Get your pen and paper out, you all right? Everybody got their pen and paper out? Let me know if everybody has their pen and paper out, because I want y'all to write some things down. When you write stuff down, you can remember it. So that's why I want y'all to write things down. Because if you don't write it down, it's hard for you to remember it. Okay, now, you got your pen and paper out? Okay. So you got to have a 50% graduation rate. That's completion rate. You have that? Now, what about the licensure and employment? Some people call it licensure and completion rate. I mean, licensure and placement rate. Those are basically the same thing, the employment and placement rate. So now that's going to have to be, if we're looking at the employment rate, 70%. Licensure rate, 60%. Now, how do we add that up? Licensure rate, 60%. Placement rate, 70%. So if 6 students graduated, all right, and we had 10 that was scheduled to graduate based on the contract, if they started in 2019, but based on the contract, they should graduate in 2020, all 10 of them, all right? Then 6 of them graduated. That's 60% graduation rate. Out of those 6, just say out of the 6, 4 of them took the test, all right? 4 of them took their test, and we say 4 of them passed. There'd be 100% licensure, all right? Now, if they got their license and 3 of them got jobs, then guess what? You're going to go 3 divided by 4, 75%. And in the back office, we have, I'm going to share this with y'all, because the bronze and gold members, y'all need to be able to see this. So I really want y'all to see this. So what we're going to do, look at the screen over here that I'm sharing with you all. I want you all to go down to NACCAS accreditation training videos. If you're a gold member, we'll just do these numbers for you. But for the bronze members, y'all gonna have to do this yourself. You click on there and you can, there's a video that talks about this. And I'm gonna share it with you all. I'm looking for it. There's so many videos back here. Annual report, okay. Right here. Annual report. You see this? It's 58 minutes long. It talks all about the annual report. I'll play a little bit for you all.
Hello, I'm Hannah Lee, and welcome to the Annual Report 101-20.
All right, we got a question. Will not help or hurt your placement rate. Text messages from students. It's based on graduates. Doesn't matter when they pass the exam.
Okay.
Their names and their exam dates.
So this 58-minute video is a NACCAS video. It's going to tell you all about what I'm sharing with you all tonight. Gold members, you don't have to get a headache because our team of ladies would do that right with you or for you, break that down. So I did want to share that with you all. For the bronze members who have to do everything, you got to do it yourself. All right, now, and that's another thing to get them school owners messed up. So that's why it's important that you have a team to do this. So let's go back to where we were. All right, now we're gonna go back to where we were. That was the license, that was the advisory committee surveys. Orientation, satisfactory progress, student. Okay, advisory committee surveys. Make this bigger. All right, so that's how you do the graduation, licensure, and employment. Do you have any recommendations for improving above results? If y'all having a meeting, if one of them is low, graduation will motivate the students more, inspire them more. If the low placement and employment, we need to have licensed shop owners to come in and talk to the students and give us a flyer, and we post it on the employment board. So those are some of the things. Curriculum and education objectives. If it's a Cosmo school and your hours are 1,200 hours, change this, okay, to Cosmo, 1,200 hours. If you got a nail program, aesthetics program, if you have all those programs, that means that you're gonna have different rates for each program, if that makes sense, okay? If you got a nail program, aesthetics program, a barber program, cosmetology program, that's 4. So you got to have 4 different performance rates for each one. And it's probably going to be 4 sets of different hours. So you can read all this. Let's see, facilities and equipment. Do they have all the learning resources? Now, so you can take this and based on what they said, you can put this in your institutional self-study, or we can just type up the minutes, gold members. We'll just type up some minutes. We had a meeting. We talked about the licensure, placement, the graduation rates, and we can say that all the members were there, John Doe, James Brown, and Sally Sue. And we'll put a date at the top that we had it. And then we'll type up the minutes and we have it all formatted how NACCAS wants it. They don't know if we had the meeting or not, that, as long as we got the documentation. So now we're going on to the next. Current student surveys. Because you gotta have these surveys. Why do you have to have the surveys? Because NACCAS says so. If you don't, you're going to get rolled up. Simple as that. On your first visit, they're going to warn you and say, hey, you need to have surveys. We coming back on your final visit. When we have your final visit, you better have them current student surveys. The first visit, they just going to be your friend. Well, you need to have this. You didn't have that. You get this in order. So they're going to give you a big old report. I got a big booklet right here. Schools, NACCAS schools, where they get the reports and we just come back, revise it, correct it, or whatever. So that's on the first visit. Second visit is not going to be like that. They don't warn you and told you, you get a pass on the first visit. So don't get scared when they come out the first time. A lot of school owners scared and nervous and all that. No, first time they're your friend. The first visit is a friendly visit to just come in and inspect your school. That's it. And tell you what's wrong, what's out of place and all of that. And then they'll give you a report saying fix this, 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 and you update it. If they need something updating the ISS Gold members, you know, we update that for you. Now, current student surveys. You see it? Put your school name there. Whatever the course is, Barber, Cosmo, Nails, Aesthetics. Put the date. So you just come into class and you got your 5 students, 10 students, 3 students, or whatever in there, and you hand these surveys out. And they fill them out. And then you take them and put them in a manila folder. And you put current student surveys and the year. That's it. Let me repeat that again for the men. Guys, simple. Put the school name, the course, you probably at Barber school, go in the classroom, hand them out. Give the students an ink pen or whatever. Tell them to put their name at the top. Tell them what today's date is. Put the date on there. They fill it out. They hand it back to you. Put it in a yellow folder. Current student surveys 2021. When NACCAS comes to your school, they're going to ask, do you have current students to take surveys? And you say, yes. Men, this is what they're doing, men. It's almost like a woman. Anytime a woman asks you a question, especially if you're in a relationship, she already know the answer. So there's no sense in you lying, because if you lie, then she gonna hit you with the documentation. What is this? Same way NACCAS works. Do you do current student surveys? Yep. After you done told them that, okay, let us see them. Get your folder. Don't be scrambling in no files like this because you ain't did it. It's too late. I'm already telling you. And if you're in the program, there's no reason why you should not have your paperwork, because everything is in here. Now, next step. They fill this form out. I mean, you already know what to do with it. I told you what to do with it, but I'm going to tell you again because I know you wasn't listening. Just like when your old lady tells you to go to the grocery store and get some bread, eggs, and milk and give you an ink pen and some paper to go with it, and she write it down, you don't take the ink pen, or you probably take the ink pen and you don't scratch stuff off, so you come back home without the eggs, but you got the bread and milk, and then you get cussed out. So I'm going to tell you one more time, guys. Look, current student surveys, put your school name right there. Student name, have them to fill that out, circle all them, and then this is what you do, put it in the folder, label it. Now, we've gone over advisory committee surveys. We've gone over current student surveys. We've gone over satisfactory progress report. We're moving on. Hopefully y'all are picking up what I'm putting down and learning some stuff. Now, we need the graduate exit surveys. Let me make it big because I know my CO, she cannot see that good. And I know some of y'all probably got y'all readers on. So now it's big enough for y'all to see. Graduate exit survey. Hair Academy. Look, where y'all see that's red, put your school name right there. Where it's red, highlight it, type your school name. Don't leave red Hair Academy right there. Delete it and put your school name. As a graduate of Hair Academy, it's red, look. Delete that and put your school name right there. Now, the only reason why I'm telling you this is because we've had a lot of people, no ladies, just men, and I'm not on you men, and I'm not being prejudiced. I know it's not all of you men, but we've never had a woman to ask us that question. It's always been the men. So for the men that's in the program, look, let me highlight that for you. When you highlight that, hit delete on your computer and then peck your school name in there. Because I know you probably don't type, peck it in there. Or get your old lady or some lady to do that for you. Guys, if you're in the program, you may want to get a woman to do your paperwork. You have a lot of less headaches and you'll sleep better at night. Now, but I'm gonna tell you something. Female and male team, I've seen them run circles around people. I get one out there in Texas, 5-star KNG Barber College, Ken Glenn. Glenn doesn't do any paperwork. He teaches all the students. He can cut hair, shave, teach practical out of this world. His wife, Kia, in the office doing the paperwork. Tuition is $25,000 student. They joined our program years ago, KNG 5-star Barber College. The government is wiring $25,000 per student. Great team. Kia can't cut no hair, can't go on the clinic floor and do nothing. Glenn stays out of the office. Now, next step. We're going on this graduate exit survey. Who is this survey for? When that student graduates, when they hit their 600 hours, if it's a nail program or aesthetics or whatever, or 1,500 or 1,200 for Barber or Cosmo, before they leave the premises, before you give them their diploma, because they all want that certificate. Before you give them that certificate, have them to come in the office, sign all their documents, fill out this graduate exit survey right now. Just check, check, check. Fill this out, fill that out. That student signs it, that graduate student signs it, dates it. At the top, make sure all this is filled out. Now, after they do that, you're gonna get you a yellow manila folder, a yellow one. And you're gonna put graduate exit survey 2021. That's simple. Now, NACCAS comes, are the students filling out a graduate exit survey before they leave? Yep, can we see it? Hey, sure, you get the folder and you can probably just hand it to them. Matter of fact, NACCAS is gonna give you a checklist. And we're gonna get into that, on some of our mastermind meetings. All that's in the program, the bronze and gold, but we'll get into that too. Now, their checklist is gonna tell you everything they want. And when they come, my mentor taught me to have it all in manila folders laid out for them. Already laid out. So when they came, if it's laid out like that, they're not gonna dig deep in your paperwork. If they see everything neat and laid out, they're just gonna scratch off. But if you got stuff twisted up and out of order and all that, it's gonna frustrate them team members and it's gonna make them dig deeper in your stuff. So I wanted to share that with y'all. Now, we got the graduate exit surveys because we're gonna have to put a minimum of 3 of these in the institutional self-study along with the current student surveys. And then we're gonna put that one advisory committee meeting where we type up them minutes. Hopefully y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, now we got another survey. Employers of graduates. Let me make this bigger. And all this stuff y'all learning, what I'm sharing with y'all, there's no one else on planet Earth sharing this. No one else. I'm telling you, what y'all are learning, I'm sharing this with you. Ms. Velma shared it with me and taught me this. So it's my job, assignment to teach you all because I want each and every one of you all to get your school, become accredited, get the government money, become millionaires, change your community, break generational curses, help the world. That's what I want. And you all can do it. So that's why. All right. Because actually the school blueprint program, I'd be better off not having a program. I talked to somebody the other day, said, well, you charge this? Look, if I didn't have a program, I'd be better off because I could continue to buy more land, build more houses, and not have to do this, not exchange time to do this, because this takes a lot of time. And when y'all call me, I take the time to deal with y'all. I want all of y'all to achieve this, and you all can do it. Don't let nobody tell you you cannot do it. And you don't have to be fearful. You got the team, and you got all the paperwork here. You ain't got to be scared. Well, I'm not going to have my surveys. You have them right here. Now, I can't fly to your school and sit there every day and say, hey, Billy Bob, give them the current student surveys. Make sure they sign it. No, that's your job. We can do a lot of your push-ups for you and eat a lot of your vegetables. We can, but we can't bowel movement out for you. You got to do some stuff. So now, employers of graduates. Here we go. It's exactly what it says it is. Employers of graduates. Hair Academy, put your school name. Look, it does not get any easier than this. I can't make this any easier. Other than if I came to your school every day and did the work for you. That you can't get any easier than this. But you got to know how to do some of this too. Gold program, if you want us, we'll put your school name here. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Even in the gold program, you should take pride in doing some of this stuff yourself so you can learn and take ownership. You know, some things you don't know, or some things it's hard to figure out, or sometimes you don't have time to do it. That's fine. We'd love to do it. Now, employers or graduates, this is where they work. Simple as that. If they work at Billy Bob's shop, Supercuts, Grey Cooks, wherever, graduate's name, that's the person that graduated from your school. The date that you call that shop to check to see if they working there, put that date right there. Business name, that's the name of the shop that they work at. Salon, barbershop, aesthetics place, wherever. Nail place, put the shop phone number. Fill this out. Okay? And the great thing about this, we got this in a Word document. So the aesthetics people, put skincare or whatever, nail people, change professional skills to whatever nails you're doing, the French manicure and all that type stuff. That's why we have it in the PDF and the Word document. So you can switch it up to where you want it. So do that, fill that out. Now, after you've done that, put it in a folder that says Employers of Graduates 2021. Next year, if it's 2022, same thing. So now, and then we're going to have 3 of these that we're going to put in the institutional self-study, that electronic report. It's called ISS. Now, we have that. We've gone over that. And when you click this link, if you click this, okay, so my assistant is gonna, oh, okay, I know what that is. I know exactly what that is. Let me take a note of that and tell my assistant to make that Google Doc a copy. All right, I'm glad I clicked on that. So you have to make out a copy. And that was, which one was that? Okay, graduate employer survey. All right, I have to change that. Now we're moving on. Student sign-in sheet. That's just a sign-in sheet if y'all don't have a clock. So now what we did, we've covered, let's do a recap. Let's do a recap. what we did today. Let me go here as a student. We're going to do this recap. So recapping today, what we went over first, satisfactory academic progress. And I'm going to share something with you all. I want to go through this catalog real quick because I want to share something with y'all. I want y'all to see something. If you look in here, satisfactory academic progress policy, page 8. Okay. Here it is. You remember I told you at 450, 900, 1200, 1500? Okay, that's what that is when they evaluate it. And I told you the 67% for the attendance. All right. And we talked about 30 hours a week, but you can have different 20 hours a week. You can have those too. Academic progress evaluations. We talked about that. That's that SAP report. Remember I said minimum 70% for that? So now that we looked at that, because your catalog has to match up with the NACCAS compliance also. And they're going to have a checklist to make sure all of that's in there. So let's go back. We did the SAP, Satisfactory Academic Progress. We've gone over this. All right. Now, next thing we did the advisory committee survey. Y'all see that? We went over this. And then we did the current student survey, which is a current student. Next, we did the graduate exit survey. Okay. Make your manila folders. And then we did the employer graduate survey. Remember? Okay. Now, so we've gone over this. I'm going to put this in the back office. It'll be in there tomorrow, so you all have access to this. So now, what we're going to do, we're going to move on to the next thing. Y'all learned a lot.